So we have some developing news this morning. California politics just got a bit more interesting. Former Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra is officially running for governor.
He's wasting no time making his case to voters. Alex Michelson was among the first to break this story this morning, and he's the first to get a TV interview, a sit-down with Becerra after his announcement. Was Becerra someone, Alex, who has always been on your radar?
Yes, there have been rumors about Javier Becerra running for California governor for months. It was unclear if he would actually jump in, but he made that decision to jump in and did so on our political show. The Issue Is. Here's a look.
Javier Becerra, are you running for governor of California?
Alex, all goes well, I will be the next governor of our great state.
So you are running for governor. So the big question is, why?
I've been blessed to have an opportunity to do things that my parents never got to. My father was a construction worker. My mother was a clerical worker, both immigrants. But they worked really hard, and somehow they figured out how to buy a house, send 4 kids to college or the military, and then retire with peace of mind. Can a construction worker and a clerical worker today do that? I don't know. And I'm not interested in watching, during our watch, that our families can no longer live that California dream. So I'm in mostly for that. But now I definitely got to get in. Over these last 2 months as I thought about it, I definitely have to get in. Now that I'm seeing what's going on in Washington, D.C., that can't stand. You cannot continue to see the erosion of all the work that was done to lift up this country.
So he's got a very interesting resume. He was the Secretary of Health and Human Services during COVID. He was the Attorney General of California during the first Trump administration. He was a member of Congress from 1993 to 2017. He was the chair of the Democratic caucus in the House. He was the chair of the Hispanic caucus. So he's been around for 35 years in elected office, but he's always been kind of a low-key guy. And part of the challenge now, Bob and Jen, is for people to get to know him and get to know his name. He doesn't have a big social media presence. And for a lot of people, even though he's been around for decades, this is going to be a bit of an introduction to Javier Becerra.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you could say that about all of the candidates really that are currently have decided to run for governor. That you know, name recognition is going to be a big issue. Of course, the big question still lingering out there is Kamala Harris going to throw her name in the ring here, and she could run for governor. And it's interesting. The timing you were telling me is interesting when it comes to potentially running for governor or even president.
Right. So the race for California governor clearly has already begun. The election for that is in 2026, November 2026. The governor would start in January of 2027. By that point, the presidential campaign will be well off and running with candidates raising money. So if Kamala Harris wants to do both, it's almost impossible. She'd have to win the election for governor of California and essentially start running for president the very next day. So legally, technically, it's possible to do that, but it's almost impossible to actually do it in practice. So Kamala Harris has to make a decision. Does she actually really want to be president, which is clearly something she's really wanted to be? And if so, does she think she can win if she runs again? If so, then you don't run for governor. Or do you think you can't win as president, and the next best thing is to be the governor of the biggest state in the union, her home state, and then you run for governor? Or maybe she makes the decision she doesn't really want to do either, and let's do something else. So that's the question that she is pondering, and I don't think she's come to that conclusion yet. She says she'll get an answer by the end of the summer, but because she's got so much name ID and everybody does know her compared to everybody else, she has the ability to wait.
Well, speaking of name recognition, Rick Caruso is somebody who has been, you know, on and off in the discussion about the race for governor. I know that he is somebody who has really stepped up and took on the city and the state after the LA wildfires. What are you hearing about him?
Well, I think he has taken on the city. The question is, has he taken on the state? Rick Caruso spent more than $100 million getting his name well known last time when he ran for mayor against Karen Bass. He's been all over the place in this city ever since the fires have started. And there's a lot of folks here that want him to run for mayor. There's plenty of folks on his team that want him to run for governor and are trying to convince him that that's a more powerful job where you can do a lot more and that the state is more moderate than the city, which basically went against him last time. And so that is going to be one of the key issues that they're going to try to figure out going forward in terms of what is he going to do.
All right. Alex Michelson reporting for us live. I think we lost your video picture there, but we appreciate all of your insight and gosh, every day, always developing news here when it comes to politics. We appreciate it, Alex. Thank you.
Something new every day.
Yeah. The issue is coming up this Friday. Javier Becerra, of course, that interview with Alex Michelson. Also, attorney Gloria Allred will be with us, and radio host John Phillips. The issue is Friday at 10:30 p.m.